Hi everyone, this is Randall Doxey with Gothx Woodworking. I'm removing this tabletop from this epoxy mold to get it over to my router sled so I can get it planed down. So you'll have to excuse the camera's minor bouncing around. I have my 9-year-old daughter helping me out. She wanted to see the process and see if she would be interested in helping put up the YouTube video. So this is her holding it still for me. So one of the mistakes I did here, especially with editing this video, is I handed my daughter the phone upright instead of on its side, so I couldn't get the widescreen, full screen. Um, so that'll be something I'll have to fix in the future, which I do later on in the video. So as I was having fun taking the mold apart, I noticed one of the screws that was holding the mold together had some epoxy that leaked into it, proving that nothing ever goes to plan. So I had to go and take a hammer to it, as you'll see later in the video, and lightly tap it out. So later on in the video, I started using a tripod to try to keep everything still. But you'll see my daughter come into frame every once in a while to help me out. So this is the first video I've ever edited. I imagine I'm going to get a little bit better at it as I go, but if you got any pointers for me or anything I should try to improve on, I'm all ears. Let me know.
Oh. That is loud, very loud. Oh no. Can I see it?
Luckily, it came with some extra screws, so not worried about it. Other than that, I'm really happy with this mold.
It is very nice.
So I've got the tabletop out there, and I've got the router sled over it. I'm starting to plan it down. I didn't realize this at the time, but the melamine 4x8 sheet of plywood there that I have there. It got rained on, it got wet. You notice all that press board swells up because it's crap. Well, I've used it a few times before now, and it worked out great. But you let it sit outside after you drilled a few holes in it, and give it a place where water gets in, and it gets warped and bent, and this shows. And I made a little accident on it, as you'll see here. So you'll notice in the background, everything looks pretty overgrown, and it is. I live in the Green Swamp over here in Polk County, Florida, and if you don't have the right equipment or take care of it weekly, almost daily, weeds and grass, everything grows like wildfire. I'm sure some of you might be able to relate, but judge me, don't judge me, but it is what it is. So if you notice right here, I make a quick cut with the router and instantly stop. I start checking, measuring everything, and realize that I'm not gonna go forward with planing this down because none of the measurements are making sense right now, and the table is pretty close to being perfect as it is. So I just decided that we're just gonna leave it where it's at and move forward. So here you can see that the router sled was going to take off too much material, and after I realized that, I stopped and measured everything, and everything was roughly the same thickness. So I decided I was just going to take my belt sander and sand it all down, which you'll see. I ended up spending over an hour with my belt sander sanding this down, and fast forward through all that. So comment below if you think in that last clip my fan was having a blast with the music that was playing. Here I'm putting new sandpaper on my drum sander, and I'm prepping it by cutting it to length by using the old one. And you can see my daughter Allison is there helping me out. If you're still with me after this length of time, consider liking and subscribing to this crazy adventure of video making I'm doing. So here I have a mishap with the drum sander. Part of the sandpaper came loose and wasn't attached properly. And you're probably wondering why I didn't just hit the power switch and shut it off, fix it. And you know, I asked myself the same thing. Here I am checking it out when I'm done with the pass. And as you'll see, I take off a guard that here I am checking it out when I'm done with the pass. And as you'll see, I take off a guard that got pretty bent. And here you can see the shredded sandpaper. When it came loose, it grabbed the guard and wedged itself up against the drum sander, causing the whole machine to stop. We end up putting new sandpaper on the drum sander, and I make a few more passes on the tabletop. And that wraps up what I have for this video for this week. Next week I will show more of the progress with the table, and I will try to put out a new video every week. If you like what you've seen and you want to see more, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next week.